Hey guys, basically my PlayStation 3 is on its way out yet again, if that never stops happening. Basically what I'm going to do, and what you guys have been requesting for a long time, probably about a year now, you guys have requested for me to fix the PlayStation 3, record it in that super fast-ass motion, and basically give my pointers as to how to fix it. That's what you're about to see. What you're about to see is a PlayStation 3 repair on an original 60 gig model, a PlayStation 3 that hasn't been opened before. It's one of those refurbs from Sony. And you're going to see me tear it apart. You're going to see it done really fast. I'm going to actually film in HD with my iPhone. You'll be able to see key parts. I'm going to actually pause out the video, throw in, basically throw in there one of the repairs. Now this is going to be a long video. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do fast or slow, but basically this is what you're about to see. So enjoy. The problem before the repair is the fact that the fan gets pretty loud within 5 minutes of being on the main menu. I'm currently backing up the PlayStation 3. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Take care. Welcome everyone to a PlayStation 3 repair. Basically, this is my 60 gig PS3 that's been in all the wonderful videos. What I'm basically going to do is show you how I will fix my PlayStation 3. I mean, it hasn't yellow lighted yet. It's just it's overheating. So basically, as you can see, it's kind of in mint condition. There's not a single scratch on the device. It's never been opened, which you'll actually see here. The warranty sticker is still in place. We're going to remove that with a precision screwdriver. Basically, I use Craftsman, and let's take this out slowly. So here's the sticker. This thing is being stupid. It's like it's glued in here. There we go. So I removed it. It's out. It's not damaged. I'm going to put it over to the side. So now what we got to do is take out this screw, which is a security Torx. And you can take it out actually with a Phillips. You don't need a security Torx. You just got to position it in there just right. And give it a twist. And actually, let me get it with another screwdriver, slightly bigger. This one's slightly bigger. I broke the security hole, so that's good. I could just take a Torx. And that. So that's one of the things. You could actually just break the security hole. It's just a little pin, actually. And that comes right out. Security hole. So now what you could do is you push the system, I forget if it's down. There we go. You can lift it right up, and as you can see, it's see-through. PlayStation 3. Throw it over to the side. Now here's the fun part. Take a nice little ratchet set, and you take out there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 screws. So we'll start taking those out. There we go. This one. I'm sorry guys if this is not entertaining, but basically I want to show you how I do it. And I'm telling you guys, I fix computers all day long. So there's nothing here that's new to me. What I would like to do is actually eventually put water cooling in this machine, but it's a pain in the ass to set up. But I'm telling you, that would completely get rid of the yellow light altogether, because the chips just would never get a chance to get hot. I can definitely tell you for a fact here, this machine is a refurb because there's just scratches all on the internal. With a refurb, they don't actually remove everything. They don't replace every part. They just make it look sexy on the outside. That one I'm going to throw out there. Basically, these screws over here hold together, which that one's a little too short. Can I hit it with this? Let's see. That one's being stupid. So let me get some other tools that I happen to have. For instance, let's take it out with this one. There we go. Lost one of my blue screwdrivers, which isn't fun. Now it should just... There we go. It's always good to have a magnetic screwdriver. So now I could just take all these little screws out. Basically the smallest screw goes in the back corner. And let's get this last screw out here. There we go. I think there's one more. Oh yeah, actually I missed one. How lovely. There we go. Now, this is one trick I learned, is that you always want to, you know, be, I would say, not intelligent, but what is the word for it? You gotta think on your feet, basically. You gotta be creative. There you go. Very creative on how you want to take apart something. If you don't have a tool that properly does it, you gotta make do. Now, the fact is, there's a little screw here. This is for the first generation PlayStation 3s. You have a little metal piece. You just don't want to lose that. Now, the reason also why I use Craftsman is that if I ever break this, you could just go to any old Sears store and they'll replace it for free. Now, I also want to take out, before we get any further, is the hard drive. Now, this is a 320 gig, I believe, or is this a 250? I forget what I put in here. But let's take this hard drive out. This one with the blue screw. It's to be idiot-proof for consumers. And we'll throw that out over here. Take this out. And this is a 250 gig Seagate Momentous for Apple. That came with my Mac. I have since upgraded it to a Momentous XT, and I don't know why people are bitching about it. It works really well. So now the next step is there's a little pinhole. I forget how to get this off. I haven't done this in a while. So usually, you're supposed to lift off in the back. You push and lift. And there we go. And that lifts here, and then there's going to be a ribbon cable, so you want to be careful. This is for the original. You take it off with your thumb, you yank it right out there. So now here's the lid. As you can see, there's like no dust, really. It's just a little bit of speck there. But now, when people are saying, "Whoa, wait, there should be a lot of dust," as I said, I keep my PS3 in a dust-free room. Behind me is an air purifier running at all times. So when someone says to me, "Oh, you're all dusty," nope, no dust. So let me throw this. I'll put it up here in a blanket. Keep it scratch-free. All right, next step. We're going to go and we're going to take out some of these ribbon cables, which some of these drive me nuts. One mistake I've made in the past, and this was on my original 60 that I got from Plane Trade, was that, I forget how the hell I get this one out. Okay, lift up and pull. That's how you get it up. There's a little flip switch. Sorry if I'm not getting every little view here, but, you know. Here's your antenna cable. Then we're also going to take off the touch-sensitive bar. I like to use either your fingernail or a very small flat screwdriver. Basically lift it up. You want to be gentle. Which this one's being stupid. We'll take it out after taking out this drive. Is this the other one? No. This one we could take right off. That's the beauty of it. Now, as you see, this is the Blu-ray drive, which there should be 2 cables that hold this in place, which I forgot to take one of them out. You want to take the power cable out. It's on the side. You want to flip it, and you basically want to take off here little flip switch, or they call it a ZIF lever. You want to take this out. Now, as you can tell, that this is the original because there's a thermal pad here, and there's a thermal pad here. This is actually the Blu-ray drive controller board. You want to be careful. We're not going to take this thing apart, but if you ever get your disc stuck, this is what you take apart. Next, we want to take out the power supply, or actually we could just take this thing off. There we go. Actually, trying to debate. Can I just lift that up? Yeah, I can, so don't bother. There are 2 screws here. We'll take it out with our blue, which I really wish I had my other screwdriver, so we'll take it out with the good guy. Now's the thing, I also take apart servers all the time. I have done massive server, I guess, repairs where I actually took apart an entire server and replaced its motherboard. And now these servers have like 8 hard drives going in there. They have dual RAID cards, dual NIC cards, dual CPUs, so there actually are 2 processors in there. And there's also a, what do you call it, a GPU in there. So now this is your touch-sensitive controller board. I want to put it to the side. I'll lay it upon here. This is not the best working conditions. I'm doing this on my bed. Not a good idea, but fuck it, I'm still doing it that way. Okay, next is to take apart, this is your controller Bluetooth board. We're going to take that out next. There's a little ribbon cable here that we just need to pop up with a flathead, as usual. Lift it up, and then you can pull it out later. And there are 4 screws for this. It's amazing how technology has progressed because all this shit fits inside a Slim now. This power supply is hot. I was only using it for a little while. This is being stupid. Alright. This video, by the way, I'm thinking is just going to be in standard def because it's going to take forever to encode it in HD. And here's the last screw. What we'll be using is IC Diamond, and we'll also be using let me just get this off here. We'll also be using Arctic Silver, depending on if I run out of IC. IC Diamond is higher grade, which this thing is being stupid. There we go. So we'll leave that lever down. So this is your Bluetooth and wireless card. Yeah, not much to look at. Put this on the bed. Lay it there. Next is the power supply, which is so wonderful to take out. There are 2 power cords. There's one in the front that's actually to control the power supply from the motherboard. Underneath there's actually a, which we dropped, which is always fun. Can't count how many times that's happened. Take out some more. Now this is the thing, I also organize where all my screws go. That's one thing, I group them. And we'll take this out. Okay, there's another one. Now, if those guys out there want to know about some Sony rants are coming. I just haven't had the time to record any. And you guys might be actually saying, well, then why are you recording a repair video? But when there's other people in the house, I tend not to curse. So that's kind of why I don't make these videos often. Okay. Go. And alright, and here's the grounding screw. The best part about the screwdriver, it gives you so much torque, so you can actually tighten things a lot easier. That one goes over there. So the next part is to lift it straight up. Then you just pull this right out. Now what you have here, these are the pins over here, which they go inside the power supply. As you can see, those two holes, that gives direct power. And this is, how many watts is this? They don't say. It's interesting. Model number is APS226. So, if anyone knows the wattage, be my guest, tell me. I don't know anything about it. Oh well. So over here, next step is to take out the motherboard, which will take off actually. Do we need to take that off? Yeah, we'll take it off. Okay. It goes there. That's the wireless card. Which is weird, those antennas. Okay. Next, I'm trying to debate here how we should do this, because I just don't want to take the whole thing apart. I just want to take it out of here. So you can definitely tell there are two types of screws. You have plastic screws and you have machine screws. So the ones I'm taking out are the plastic screws. You can tell by the way they're threaded. One holds the metal shielding together, which we don't actually need to take off for a thermal paste replacement. Should throw that one over there. So that takes this bridge off. And next, here's another one. And another one. You can basically tell because they're dome shaped. And then you have the ones that are very small, they're precision. Those are the ones that you just don't need to take out. Unless you're doing a yellow light death repair, there's really no need. I'm just very curious to see how shitty the paste is on this one. Because I've been complaining about it running hot for a while. Okay. It's just a few more. Actually, I think this is it. Alright. That one's a long one, so I have to remember that one. I should be able to just pull this back off. Or actually, no, that comes next. I forgot about that. So it should just lift. Haven't done this for a while. I want to do it without damaging the PS3. Let me put it on my lap. There we go. This shit should just lift it right the fuck out. There we go. So now, here's your casing, and as you can see, again, there's just very, very, very little amount of dust. I have seen PS3s where they're really dusty, but my PS3, nope. Dust-free, so you can definitely tell this is a thermal paste issue. So I'll throw that over there. Next, the fun part. You're going to see actually here, you can see the giant-ass fan and motherboard. That kind of hurt. There we go. Fun part. Yep, I could definitely see the fan. And the fan has no dust on the blades. So again, it is not dust that caused this. Next part. I hate doing this. Really do. See, it's such a bitch to take apart this PS3. It's the PS3 Slim. So stupid, right? And yeah, there's like no dust in this machine. So let me just take off this back piece. There are clips that you need to take off. One more, and it should come right off. So that one is being stupid. If all else fails, take out a flathead. There we go. This is your back piece. Now, this is the next step. We take out the clips that hold on the heatsink. Now this is the wonderful part because this is where we get to see how shitty the paste was. Okay. I would love to modify this PS3 and just put CPU-based heat sinks on here. This is the one thing that sucks. If you have any of the more modern fat PS3s, they aren't as easy to paste. I can tell you that for a fact. They're really shitty to paste. Hey, we're 19 minutes in. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's actually not too slow on a repair. I wish I had a big-ass table to do my repairs. And we dropped it yet again. Good. Alright, both clips are off. Next step is to hold the heatsink on, flip it upside down. This is the fun part. This is where we take the heatsink off. Let's unplug the fan. Don't make the mistake I made the one time where I left that unplugged. And this is the fun part. I'm trying to remember how we take this off. There we go. That was just a suction to the paste. Just gotta do it softly because you don't want to force it. There we go. And there's the paste. Yep, paste is shot. Basically, that's what it looks like. We're going to clean these off, put new paste on, and put the whole thing back together. But the paste is completely shot. Is there any? No, there's no residue at all on it. Alright, so this is where it ends part 1, I guess. Part 2, we're going to put this bitch back together, but there's no dust in it. Okay, so basically, we have the heatsink with the paste that's completely shot. It looks like it's just shit, basically. There's no liquid, but we're going to be replacing it with this. This is IC Diamond 7, I believe it's called. I also have some standby paste, just in case. You never want to mix the paste, but you could always have a different paste on each chip. But you just don't want to mix them on the same chip. So basically, we're just going to rub these things down with some paper towels and alcohol. That's basically what I use. You don't need water. You don't need any special cleaning shit. You just take a paper towel, you roll it up into like a square form like this. You hold your bottle of alcohol, you tilt it, fill up the napkin or a paper towel with it. I'm going to put down this. And we just basically clean this. Alcohol is just basically what you need to use to clean all this paste off. And of course the paste gets liquidy when you add some moisture to it. This paste sucks. I don't know why Sony still uses this shit. Now, we'll have a miniature rant while I'm cleaning this shit. Now, Sony believes that there's no common flaw in the PlayStation 3. I beg to differ because these heat blocks are using shit paste. These thermals, the heat sinks are actually not too bad on design. As you can see, there was no dust. What is the common thing I do? Wait, have I ever vacuumed this PlayStation 3? Nope, never did. Basically, as you can see, that my PS3 I take care of, which all the stupid-ass fanboys say, nope, Jack the Bomb never takes care of his shit, or how they like to say it. But basically, as you can see, if my PlayStation 3 is in mint condition, it has minor dust. I mean, again, that's nothing. I've seen worse. But the fact that I have these idiots continuously saying it's the consumer's fault annoys me. It really does. Because it just should never be a consumer's responsibility to have to do this. Now the fact is, when I paste, you're going to see the new method that I use. You know, over the course of a year, I have developed a new method that works. The spread technique, never do. I have found that all the laptops I've ever done a spread technique on has failed within a year, the repair. So you guys never want to do that. Let's get out another napkin or paper towel, whatever the fuck. We'll separate it, give it a little bit more strength. So yeah, alcohol-wise, you want, like, I'm using 50% isopropyl. You guys can use 70%. Like, you can find a dollar store, just get it. This is basically dollar store alcohol. You don't need anything fancy. If you hear some screeching in the background, that's my dog. And my dog is a pain in the ass. Because we're having Chinese food, and our dog just loves when we don't let him out of his cage while we're eating. Okay, so this heat thermal paste is basically all wiped off. You don't need to get every little nook and cranny. I mean, if you really want to get that particular, go right ahead. Doesn't hurt. You just want to make sure that these blocks are completely clear. Let me just make sure how this works. So basically, the RSX has its own heatsink. It's interesting. The cell processor has a bigger heatsink. That's interesting. Okay, so next we want to do, as you can see, they're perfectly clean and shiny. We want to clean and shiny up the CPU and GPU. For this, I'm not going to use the same napkin spot. Let's add a little dab. So I want to be gentle with this. Basically, I hate this paste. I really do. Now, one thing I have done, and I've made a mistake back in the past, is I have seen one of these chips come flying right off the board. And that was caused entirely due to overgorging with paste. That's why you have to be gentle when you're taking it off for the first time, because if it's still stuck, you could risk ripping the chip right off the board. So how about the PlayStation Network being down for a week? That kind of sucks. I haven't been able to kick anybody's ass on Modern Warfare 2 for a week. I do actually pretty good at it, believe it or not. Okay, so this is nice and clean. Okay, we'll work on the other chip a little bit more. This week alone, I have torn apart 7 laptops, all with overheating issues. Some of them had other issues too. One had a bad motherboard. That was fun. What else did I do this week? Fixed one server. Fixed an Xbox 360. Nothing has to be perfect here. Okay, so now both chips are essentially clean. They don't need to be perfect, but again, it's totally up to you. Just make sure there's no traces of the old paste on there. So now this is the next part. This is the fun part. This is where we actually put on the paste, put on the heatsink, and start putting this thing back together. So let's lift up. Alright, so we're going to use some icy diamond. Basically, you want to just put a big ass blob in the center. So that's what I'm going to do here. Put a nice big ass blob in the center here. I think that's enough. I'm trying to debate. Yeah, it should be enough. Alright, that's it. That's all we need. Almost used an entire tube on here. But basically, if we can kind of show you without breaking anything, that's what it looks like. They're like two little dots. And what happens is, this is what I've learned over the past year. I've learned that basically the paste, if you spread them out, you create air bubbles over time, and that kind of dries out the paste even faster. I find that if you just put it directly on there like this, you do a good job. Yeah, it should be more than enough. Alright, so let's start putting this shit back together. So the first thing you want to do, it's one thing I've learned also, you want to, when you apply it on there, you want to kind of move it around. So let me just make sure I line this up good. Just want to make sure it's on there well. Alright, it's sunk right in just as I wanted. You make sure you put on that fan power cord. Do not make the mistake I made where put the whole fucking thing together only for it to not work. Alright, good. So now what we'll do is we'll flip this bitch over. Then we'll put in the heat blocks. Let's put these back on. And we'll start bolting everything on. I really hate doing this, Sony. I mean, I don't know why Sony doesn't use higher grade shit. You know, this is first generation product. I really don't understand. So I just tighten it. You tighten it at the end. I like to put them both in and kind of add even pressure. It's, again, find what works for you. Now basically, as you use your PS3, it spreads. That's basically what we do when you apply the pressure. Squishes it like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Let's just put this on. Now, the fact is, before this paste job, if I were to watch a Blu-ray, about, I would say, 10 minutes in, the fan's at its max speed. And that kind of pissed me off. Now the fact is, since we're using higher grade paste, that shit should not happen anymore. Alright, and we apply it on both sides. Perfect, they're good. Now let's put on the back, which is the fun part. It's kind of a bitch to put on. There we go. And let's snap this on. If you guys have any questions, post in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer some questions. Okay, that's snapped on. So now we get the base, which again is dust-free. And we apply this on. Just trying to find the best way to do this. Lift this up. It's my dog again. Alright. You want to make sure this is sitting in there. There we go. Okay. So now, PlayStation 3 motherboard's back on. Now we just start basically bolting it back together. Now, basically, the one thing you guys can learn is that each hole has a little like picture of a trying to debate here. Trying to debate. All right. Each screw where you want to actually put a screw in has an arrow pointing at it. Make sure you screw them down or you're going to hear a lot of racketing going on in this thing. It's basically holes. That one's the long one. Almost forgot that. Okay. There we go. That's on there. It's in there good. There's another screw here. Now, is this really that difficult to do? Not really. Is it easy to screw up? Yes, that's if you're careless. I know this stupid thing goes on right here. Don't forget, some people, like I've made the mistake actually, where I try putting this thing on first. And we gotta make sure both holes are in there. Perfect. Good. You don't want to over tighten, but you want to make sure it's nice and snug. Here we go. And I know there's another hole there that needs to be filled. Last screw for the motherboard. Okay, so basically that's done. Next step, I'm going to put the power supply back on. Or actually, let's do it exactly backwards. Let's put this little antenna back on, which the next generation systems better have wireless N. I have to tell you, wireless N really does make a big difference. Okay, that's that. Shorts like this, or I forget exactly how this thing goes, but whatever. Next, we put the power supply back on. What we basically want to do is you want to make sure you connect this first. Or actually, yeah, let's put that on first. Never forget to put this grounding screw on. Okay, that's good. Now we get to put this on. Plug it in first, then place it on top, because it's a bitch if you don't do it that way. Okay, put pressure here on this side, and that will basically seat it, and then we'll screw it right in. I plug that in. Shorts in there. I about had it with this damn thing, I have to tell you guys. I'm going all PC gaming next gen. PC and Nintendo, that's where I'm going to go. The Xbox 360 pissed me off for the fact that it failed so many times. You know, I've had so many people bring them. I have like 3 Xbox 360s downstairs. They're all my cousins, and they always keep trying to get me to fix them for them. Alright, now you want to tuck this underneath. This is the power cord. Make sure it's tucked underneath. And now here's the last screw there. Alright, let's put the wireless card back in. You never want to force anything in. It's one key thing to learn. If you're forcing something, you know you're not doing it right. Okay, that's down. Okay, we lay this on top. Make sure this thing's up. There we go. Okay, and then we'll proceed to put those screws in, which they're right here. That's why you always want to group screws, so you never put the wrong screws in the wrong place. Got this one song stuck in my head. It's a pretty good song. It's called Hello. Came out recently. It's some like techno mix. It's pretty good. Got some dog hair there. That's not good. Put the antenna, push it right back on. Okay, that's good. Next step, we'll just put the little controller bridge on. You want to just push it straight down. So on there, right? There we go. Put the wireless controller bridge there. Try to remember which screws I use. Do these little ones? Yes, it is. Okay, it's these two little ones. Okay, that's on. Last but not least, the Blu-ray drive. This one's a tricky one. This one I have to warn you guys. I have heard so many people screw up this particular aspect of the repair. Now, the thing is, it's very easy to damage this cable, so you want to be very gentle with it. And I'm not joking. You want to make sure this is in there all the way. Make sure it's in. Then you want to just push it down. I've had so many people break that thing. It's not funny. There we go. Make sure you rest it directly on top, because you do have a thermal pad underneath that must be reconnected. So now at this point, plug this in. Make sure you tuck it underneath, and that should be set for there. Now at this point, you don't need to have the lid attached. We could basically power this on without the lid, and we'll test it out. So let's do that. Or you know what, screw it, let's just put the whole thing together. Feeling confident. Let's get this ribbon cable. Just gotta make sure I got it right. Okay, this goes on here first. Okay, that's on there. Now we attach this. I like to make sure it's on like there. Okay. Alright, basically at this point, system's done. Now you can proceed to screw everything in. So let me just get this. We'll start putting these back in. It's not too hard to do this repair, is it now, guys? Then a small screw in the corner. Okay, and then these little 2 midget screws that are a pain in the ass to put in. Dead serious, these things suck. Can't count how many times I've dropped them. Good, I just primed them and I'm going to use the other screwdriver since they're not magnetic. Alright, use this one. I'm hating this, I really do. Haha, duh. I feel like an idiot. I was going on the wrong screw. That one is hard to get, though. Alright. That one's in there. Last screw. That one's a bitch to get in. Just don't have long shaft. Like I lost my long shaft. Craftsman. Not good. Okay, that's in. Next, we put the top panel back on. Actually, nope. Scratch that. You gotta put this thing back in. I forgot how to do it. Here we go. And that is a PlayStation 3 repasting, basically. We could put this little Torx bit back in there. This is always like precision based. This kind of sucks. This one's always hard to do. So I'll do that later actually. Let's put the hard drive back in. Okay, lift this out. Shift it over. Throw the blue screw in. Screw this bitch in. And we should be good. Take care, guys. Look out for future content.